serving eastern New Mexico and the surrounding region. This is News 3 New Mexico, your local source for news, sports, and first weather.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Cheyenne Cope. Last Wednesday, Reagan Suzanne Herring was born at an Albuquerque hospital at 28 weeks and weighing only 2 pounds, 14 ounces. Doctors later discovered that baby Reagan had Down syndrome, a heart murmur, and a very rare form of leukemia. They flew her out to Denver, Colorado on Thursday night to begin chemotherapy. We spoke with Reagan's brother, Tyler Herring, who is a student here at Eastern New Mexico University, about the tremendous support that his family has received from the community.
Reagan had about a 2% chance of living past a week, and she just turned a week old yesterday. So I truly 100% believe that all the prayers from every single one from across the world that we've gotten has helped and been the reason that we still have a baby sister.
And if you're interested in donating your time or money to the Herring family, there are many ways to get involved. There will be a car wash this Saturday from 8 to 4 at True Value here in Portales. 100% of that money will go to the Herring family. You can also receive updates on Reagan, donate, and get in touch with the family at caringbridge.org. Just search for Reagan Herring. There's also a JP Stone account set up in Reagan's name. Last night, the community at Eastern New Mexico University gathered together for a prayer vigil in honor of Irving Urquijo. The bull rider was tragically killed during a rodeo practice Tuesday evening when he fell off the bull and the 1,800-pound animal stepped on him. During the vigil, his friends were sharing how he was always happy and smiling. His rodeo team will wear black armbands during their upcoming rodeo this Saturday to honor Irving. Wednesday, a medical helicopter crashed near the landing pad on top of the University of New Mexico Hospital in Albuquerque. The pilot was injured and his condition is still unknown. The other 2 crew members escaped unharmed. A witness told KENW-TV that the helicopter took off and started to wobble before it crashed near the helipad. The top floor of the hospital was evacuated as a precaution. Officials are still investigating the reason for the crash. The U.S. Justice Department has concluded that the Albuquerque Police Department has violated the U.S. Constitution on numerous occasions. The federal agency took the recent protests in Albuquerque as a reason to investigate the allegations of civil rights violations. Acting U.S. Attorney Damon Martinez says too frequently police officers have used deadly force on people who posed minimal threat. The police department has faced intense criticism, over 37 shootings by officers since 2010. Well, now let's toss it over to Kelsey Lorenz, who has your first look at weather. Kelsey, please tell me that we can expect these warm temperatures to be around for a while.
Thanks, Shan. Well, I can happily say, folks, that temperatures in the eastern New Mexico area are warming up. We have certainly...
Thanks, Kelsey. A rare gem was stolen from the New Mexico Museum of Natural History and Science. Officials say a thief took an uncut 3-carat diamond from the museum's volcano exhibit. Custodial staff reported it missing around 9:30 a.m. on Wednesday. There was no video surveillance in the exhibit, and the diamond had been kept there for the past 28 years. And if you're planning on visiting our state capital, you might want to make changes in your route throughout the city. Santa Fe's newly elected mayor is proposing to close the city's historic downtown plaza to vehicles. Mayor Javier Gonzalez says he wanted to create a safe environment for families with children, but several downtown business owners expressed their concerns about the idea, saying closing off all streets around the plaza would hurt merchants by reducing traffic flow. Another day has passed since the shocking stabbings at a high school in Pennsylvania, and 4 people are still in critical condition. The suspect, who went on a rampage with 2 kitchen knives, is being charged as an adult. Andrew Spencer reports.
Police say 16-year-old Alex Reibel stabbed 20 fellow students and a security officer in a crowded hallway of his high school just outside Pittsburgh.
The kid just ran down the hall.
And if you're looking for a nice job with some great benefits, we might have a suggestion for you. The luxury Italian automaker Ferrari is handing out massive bonuses as a reward for stellar profits in 2013. Each employee is getting a bonus worth roughly 3 months of their salary as part of a 3-year bonus plan. On top of that, the company's workers are set to receive just over $5,700 for excellent financial results achieved last year. The automaker reported a 5% revenue and an 8% profit boost. Talk about a dream job. Well, don't go anywhere yet, because after the break on News 3 New Mexico, we have a special guest in our newsroom who will tell us more tell us more on the amazing work him and his teammates have dedicated their time to, so stay tuned. Welcome back. Well, imagine riding a bicycle all the way from San Diego, California to Washington, D.C. That's thousands of miles through deserts and mountains. But a group of college students are taking that challenge for a greater good. Ride for World Health is a nonprofit organization aiming to spread awareness about major health issues, and they do so by traveling across the country on their bicycles. Last year, they stopped in Portales and had a chance to enjoy some Greyhound baseball action, and today they're back in town. Jeff Schaefer is here with us in the newsroom to talk to us. Thank you for being here, Jeff.
Thanks for having me.
Well, can you tell us more about Ride for World Health and your journey across the country?
Well, sure. We're a group of mostly medical students from The Ohio State University who are riding across the country about 3,200 miles over the course of 52 days to raise money for and awareness for 3 global health charities: Empower and Advance, Heal Africa, and Podemos.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm actually a really big Buckeyes fan.
Excellent.
Can you tell me what are your focuses in your presentations?
Sure. Well, what we hope to accomplish with our presentations is just to raise awareness of different global health issues. Each of the Ohio State medical students prepared a talk on a different global health topic, and they raise a wide variety of topics from nutrition to different surgical topics, and really.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us. I'm Kristen Garcia. The recent fatal shooting of a homeless man by the Albuquerque police led people to raise questions about the police training in New Mexico. Hundreds of people in Albuquerque protested the killing of James Boyd, demanding changes in the way police force handles such situations. Now the New Mexico Law Enforcement Academy has changed its cadet curriculum aimed at helping reduce deadly force encounters. Documents outlining the new program show that cadets are now trained to shy away from using deadly force in some cases. Our very own KENW-TV will be adopting new changes to the way it broadcasts its program. The PBS affiliate received a $113,000 grant from the U.S. Department of Agriculture. The funding will be used to transition from an analog to a digital broadcast television transmission. The project will make public television available to those living in the Native American Mescalero Apache Tribes Reservation. The wind outside of our studio here in Portales has been picking up all day, and it's getting in the way of that springtime weather. Let's toss it over to Kelsey Lorenz with weather. Should we expect better days over the weekend, Kelsey?
Thanks, Kristen. Well, folks, this weekend doesn't look like wind speeds will be changing much. But as of right now, we have word from the National Weather Service in Albuquerque, who has issued a wind advisory in the eastern central plains, which includes Curry and Roosevelt County. That will last until 8 o'clock tonight. We've been experiencing wind speeds up to 25 to 30 miles per hour with occasional gusts up to 50. Make sure when traveling to be extra cautious of your surroundings and others on the road. Well, that's your first look at weather. Kristen, back to you.
Thanks, Kelsey. A deadly fire terrorized a 4-story brick building in Boston Wednesday. The fire, however, claimed the lives of 2 firefighters and injured more than a dozen others. Today, the Boston Fire Department is in mourning. Andrew Spencer has the details.
Fueled by strong winds, flames quickly spread through the 4-story building west of downtown Boston.
In 30 years, I've never seen a fire travel that fast, escalate that quickly, and create such havoc.
President Obama continues his trip throughout Europe, and today he had the chance to meet Pope Francis for the first time. The president and the Pope greeted each other with a smile and a handshake before posing for pictures. Later, they met privately to discuss their shared commitment to fighting poverty and income inequality. In other areas, however, the two do not share common ground. Obamacare mandates dealing with contraception don't mesh with Catholic doctrine, but the U.S. Conference of Catholic Bishops has been vocal in opposing that idea that employers must include contraception as part of their health insurance plans. A Russian spacecraft carrying 3 astronauts launched from Kazakhstan on Wednesday, but faced some difficulties on their way to the International Space Station. The American and 2 Russians were supposed to arrive at the space station 6 hours after takeoff, but an engine burn intended to adjust the Soyuz spacecraft's path never occurred, delaying the docking. The trio reported they were not in danger and they are expected to arrive at the space station by tonight. They are scheduled to return home in September. And before the break, let us give you a sweet tip on how to stay alert and productive. A study done by economists at the University of Warwick revealed that a little chocolate could go a long way in the workplace. The findings showed that giving people chocolate and showing them videos of stand-up comedy raised their productivity by close to 10 to 12%. We all know that unhappy workers aren't as productive as the happy ones, so let this be a hint to our bosses on how to keep the workforce motivated and hardworking. Stay tuned to News 3 New Mexico. We'll be right back after the break.
Good evening, I'm Cheyenne Cope, and thank you for joining us. The operation of the waste isolation pilot plant near Carlsbad wants to move their waste to another area until the plant reopens. The Department of Energy proposed a plan to ship Los Alamos waste to a waste control specialist site in Texas's Andres County. Los Alamos will move their barrels of plutonium-contaminated objects by June. Once the plant reopens, the partnership will return the waste for a final disposal. Top officials from New Mexico, Colorado, and Texas are willing to work together through the drought that continues to hammer the region's water supplies. Officials with the Rio Grande Compact Commission gathered today in Santa Fe. The focus of the meeting was the management of the river. Currently, Texas and New Mexico are in the middle of a legal battle before the U.S. Supreme Court over groundwater pumping along the border. And a different kind of fight is shaping up, and they call it March Madness for a reason. An estimated 50 million people participate in office pools each year, centering around the NCAA basketball tournament. Today begins the 4 days of intense action. By Sunday night, the field of 64 teams will have played 32 games, and the field will be down to a sweet 16 teams. For many businesses, though, the tournament means lost productivity. Employees spend hours filling out their brackets, following games online, and yapping about it around the water cooler, losing their employers more than $1 billion in lost worker productivity. But many businesses love this time of year, like the Doghouse Sports Bar here in Portales, where our own Cedric Pittman is standing by to give us a first look at sports. Cedric.
Well, Cheyenne, I'm down here at the Doghouse in Portales enjoying a little bit of the March Madness with the locals. And to say the least, it's been a very exciting day of basketball with some ups and downs for pretty much every sports fan. We've already witnessed 2 big upsets as Cincinnati was routed by Harvard and Dayton pulled out ahead of Ohio State. I actually had both Ohio State and Cincinnati pegged to win in my bracket. So obviously I'm not looking at a shot at the $1 billion anymore. But I think I can live with that because Florida's pulling out over Albany and I have them to win. Later on, we're going to be interviewing the head of the Doghouse, Chad Heflin. So stay tuned at home. And Cheyenne, back to you.
Thanks, Cedric. I had Ohio State in my bracket, too. Officials in Australia are checking out 2 objects spotted in the southern Indian Ocean that may be linked to missing Malaysian Airlines Flight 370. An Australian official says the largest object is about 79 feet long. Images were captured by satellite and are being assessed by the Australian Geospatial Intelligence Organization. The announcement raises hopes of finding parts of the plane amid a huge search that is now in its 13th day. And President Obama is slapping more economic sanctions on Russia because of their actions in the Ukraine. He is targeting 20 individuals both inside and outside the government, as well as a Russian bank that is providing them support. The president also signed an executive order that would allow the U.S. to penalize key sectors of the Russian economy. Moments after President Obama announced his latest moves, Russia retaliated by imposing entry bans on 9 U.S. lawmakers and officials.
We've been working closely with our European partners to develop more severe actions that could be taken if Russia continues to escalate the situation. As part of that process, I signed a new executive order today that gives us the authority to impose sanctions not just on individuals but on key sectors of the Russian economy. This is not our preferred outcome. These sanctions would not only have a significant impact on the Russian economy, but could also be disruptive to the global economy.
The big deadline is quickly approaching for health care. Karen Kafa explains what Americans need to know in today's Consumer Watch.
The White House is making a full-court press.
Hi, I'm LeBron James. I know how important it is to take care of yourself, your friends, and your family.
To get Americans signed up for health insurance under the Affordable Care Act before March 31st. Why the March Madness?
The founder of the controversial West Bureau Baptist Church has died. A church spokesman says 84-year-old Fred Phelps died of natural causes Wednesday night. Phelps founded the West Bureau Baptist Church nearly 60 years ago in Topeka, Kansas. The church is known for its anti-gay picket lines and protests at military funerals. But on a lighter note, before we go to break here on News 3 New Mexico, we invite you to take a second to admire and celebrate a part of the beautiful scenery that Mother Nature creates around us. The Cherry Blossom Festival kicked off today in Washington, D.C. and celebrates spring, the gift of the cherry blossom trees, and the enduring friendship between the people of the United States and Japan. Numerous events including art exhibitions, concerts, boat races, and kite flying are scheduled. The festivities will continue until April 13th. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.